In an age of giants, one man cast a shadow that would stretch across millennia. His name was Gaius Julius Caesar, and this is the story of how his ambition forged an empire from the ashes of a republic, born into the ancient, but politically faded, Julian clan. Caesar was a patrician by birth, but a man of the people by choice. The Rome of his youth was a cauldron of political intrigue, a dangerous arena where power was won with silver tongues and sharp daggers. From his earliest days, Caesar learned to navigate this treacherous world. He witnessed the brutal power struggles between Marius and Sulla, a lesson etched in blood that taught him a crucial truth. In Rome, you either conquered or were crushed. His early career was a masterclass in political maneuvering. He aligned himself with the populist cause, winning the hearts of the common folk with his charm and lavish spending. Eclimbed tecusis honorem, the ladder of Roman offices, with a relentless drive that unnerved his rivals. They saw a charismatic upstart. They failed to see the military genius lurking beneath. That genius was unleashed in Gaul. For nearly a decade, Caesar waged a brutal, brilliant campaign that brought the vast territories of modern-day France and Belgium under Roman control. His legions were not just an army. They were an extension of his will. He shared their hardships, slept on the same cold ground, and knew his centurions by name. This loyalty was absolute. His dispatches from the front, the asterisk commentaries on the Gallic War asterisk, were not just military reports. They were political propaganda of the highest order, cementing his heroic image back in Rome. He was becoming more than a general. He was becoming a legend. But as his fame grew, so did the fear and envy of his rivals in the Senate, particularly his former ally, Pompey the Great. The Senate issued an ultimatum: disband your army and return to Rome as a private citizen, or be declared an enemy of the state. For Caesar, this was a death sentence. Standing on the banks of a small river called the Rubicon, the legal boundary of Italy, he faced an impossible choice. To cross with his army was to declare civil war, an act of treason. To turn back was to face certain political and personal ruin. Looking at his loyal soldiers, he uttered the fateful words, "Alea iacta est." The die is cast. He crossed the Rubicon. What followed was a whirlwind civil war that spanned the known world from Spain to Egypt. Caesar's tactical brilliance was unparalleled. He consistently defeated larger armies through speed, surprise, and an uncanny ability to inspire his men. At Pharsalus, he shattered Pompey's forces. In Egypt, he intervened in a dynastic struggle, securing a vital grain supply and famously allying with Queen Cleopatra. In a matter of years, he had eliminated all his rivals and stood as the undisputed master of Rome. Returning home, he was not a conqueror, but a reformer. He was declared dictator perpetuo, dictator for life. He launched a flurry of reforms aimed at stabilizing the fractured republic. He reformed the calendar, creating the Julian calendar we still use in a modified form today. He initiated massive public works projects, providing jobs for the poor. He granted citizenship to people in the provinces, expanding the idea of what it meant to be Roman. He was, in effect, laying the groundwork for an empire while maintaining the facade of the republic. But his absolute power was an affront to the old guard, the senators who clung to the traditions of the republic. They saw him not as a savior, but as a tyrant, a king in all but name. A conspiracy began to fester in the shadowy halls of the Senate, led by men who called themselves the Liberators. Among them were those he had pardoned, men he considered friends, including the man he may have regarded as a son, Marcus Junius Brutus, the Ides of March, the 15th of March, 44 B.C. Caesar arrived at the Senate, ignoring warnings from his wife and a soothsayer. As he took his seat, the conspirators surrounded him. One tugged at his toga, the signal. Suddenly, daggers were drawn. He fought back at first, but when he saw Brutus among his attackers, blade in hand legend says his will to fight broke. You too, Brutus. He pulled his toga over his head and accepted his fate, falling at the foot of a statue of his great rival, Pompey. The conspirators believed they had saved the Republic. They were tragically wrong. Caesar's murder did not restore the old order. It plunged Rome into another round of bloody civil wars. The power vacuum he left behind was too vast to fill. Out of the chaos, one figure emerged. His adopted son and heir, Octavian. Together with Mark Antony, Octavian hunted down the assassins and then fought Antony for supreme control. Finally, Octavian would stand victorious, renaming himself Augustus and becoming Rome's first true emperor. The republic that Brutus and his co-conspirators had killed to save was dead forever. Caesar's ghost had won. Julius Caesar's legacy is monumental. He was a brilliant general, a shrewd politician, a gifted writer, and a visionary reformer. His actions directly led to the end of the 500-year-old Roman Republic and the birth of the Roman Empire, a superstate that would define Western civilization for centuries. His name became a title for Emperor's Kaiser, a synonym for absolute power. He dared to defy the Republic, and in doing so, carved his name into eternity. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. If you found this story as fascinating as we do, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more epic tales, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. We'll see you in the next one.